In the case of red algae, let us see what the term is, that is rhodophyceae. Now over here we have examples of Porphyra, we have Thoria, we have Gelidium, we have Corallina, Ceramium, Gracilaria and Campia. These are the examples of red algae, and apart from that you have to remember one important name, that is Batrachospermum, which is a freshwater algae, red algae. These brown and red algae, they are going to be found in marine environments only. One exception is there that I told you. Now let us see the characteristics of this red algae. All species are multicellular. You are not going to find unicellular species in the case of rhodophyceae as seen in the case of green algae, where Chlamydomonas was one such example. They all live in marine environments except Batrachospermum. They live attached to rock by a structure called holdfast, which is again similar to what we had discussed. The cell wall contains thick polysaccharides. Some species incorporate calcium carbonate from the ocean into their cell walls as well. Red algae contain chlorophyll as well as phycobilins. Red and blue pigments involved in photosynthesis. The red pigment's name is phycoerythrin. As we had fucoxanthin over there in the other case, over here we are going to have phycoerythrin. The phycobilins absorb the green, violet and blue light waves that can penetrate deep water. That is why you are going to find the red algae in the deepest of the ocean. So, in case you encounter a question where you are being asked that which algae would be present in the deepest of the oceans, it would be red algae, because it absorbs those part of the white spectrum which can penetrate deep into the water, and that part is, of course, it is violet, green and blue, not red. These pigments allow the red algae to photosynthesize in deep water with little or less light available. Reproduction in these organisms is a complex process of sexual and asexual phases. What is the stored material? That is in the form of Floridian starch. Alright, as I told you, the cell wall is often made up of calcium carbonate, and we have discussed what are the pigments. Apart from chlorophyll, it is having phycoerythrin. We have discussed the types of flagella. No, we didn't discuss it, we are going to talk about it. That is there any kind of flagella present in the algae? No, they do not have any flagella. Flagella would be absent. They would either be present in they won't be present in fresh water. They would either be present in marine or brackish water. The flagella are absent. Food is stored in the form of Floridian starch. Talking about their reproduction, as we discussed that we have flagellated zoospores and flagellated gametes in the earlier cases. See, vegetative propagation, as we talked about in the earlier cases, it is going to be by fragmentation. Alright. Next case is that the asexual reproduction would be with the help of non-flagellated spores, and in the case of sexual reproduction, the reproduction that this is carried out by the formation of gametes, that is sexual reproduction, would be carried out in an oogamous manner, that the female gamete would be larger in size and the male gamete would be motile and it would reach the female gamete. So, this is all about algae, and you have to understand what is the basic difference on which the classification is made. That is the important point that you have to understand. The points I have highlighted over here that you have to remember by heart, and the last thing that we study over here is the economic importance of algae. Why algae are so important? First thing is that you just cannot get over the point that maximum of the oxygen release or the carbon dioxide fixation, that is the formation of food as we call it, or in other terms we call it primary productivity, is done by none other than algae. So, algae are very, very important primary producers which are responsible for the whole amount, if not whole amount, the greater amount of production of photosynthetes, and that gives them a very important autotrophic position. So, we have one by one, there are 7 economic points that I have chosen to discuss with you. First one is half of the total carbon dioxide fixation, that is photosynthesis, half of the photosynthesis, whatever is present on earth to eat by other, to be eaten by other organisms, it is carried out by the algae that you see in water. So, through photosynthesis, these algae are doing the carbon dioxide fixation, and you need to pay attention to one thing, that whenever carbon dioxide fixation is done, it is giving out oxygen as well. So, the oxygen that you are breathing at present, some part of it, at least 50% part of it is being produced by algae. It is major component of aquatic food chain because they are primary producers, as we talked about. They are going to be the important part of food chain, and the food chain is going to start from algae itself. Porphyra, laminaria and sargassum are used as food. They are high energy foods that are used, and you know that spirulina tablets are available in the market that people consume nowadays in the developed countries. In the US and the UK, you might have seen that people are consuming spirulina tablets. What are they? They are algae basically, which have high energy in them. Then we have algin and carrageen are used as hydrocolloids, which is a fibrous structure. It holds water and is used for transport of seedlings, and because it is hygroscopic, it can store water in itself. So when it can store water in itself, whatever dry material is to be transported, it can be used in that place. It is the agar that we have. In the case of algin, we had brown algae, it gave agar, and agar is used as commercial products. We talk about agarose gel, we have agar in so much use in our laboratory experiments. We have geladium, we have it's not Growleria, there is a simple mistake, it is Gracilaria. I would point it out. Minor Gracilaria. Again I am doing the mistake. It is this Gracilaria. They are used to grow microbes, make ice creams and jellies, and as I told you, we just said that people take spirulina tablets. Chlorella and spirulina are rich in proteins. Pardon me, not produce. Chlorella and spirulina, they are green algae which are rich in proteins and are used as food supplements, and you might be surprised that astronauts which go in space, they take these tablets because they are so much rich in nutrients. So you can see that there is a lot of economic importance of algae apart from their importance that is of much greater value, that is their ecological importance. So this is all about understanding algae under the plant kingdom. Next, what we study is bryophytes, which are little bit advanced in algae, but this is all that we have in the case.